Three of California's four largest wildfires on record are still burning, with a dangerous heat wave expected across the West this weekend. The Los Angeles National Weather Service is warning Californians of what they call an exceptionally dangerous heat event. They say that this could be hotter than last month's historic heat wave, when Death Valley reached the highest temperature ever reliably measured on Earth, 130 degrees Fahrenheit. CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Berardelli has been on top of all of it. He joins us now with more on what to expect this weekend. Jeff, last when we spoke, you described the weather across the West as bonkers. Tell us what's in store.
I'd say insane. It stepped up from bonkers to insane. But in all seriousness, it is kind of dangerous across California, not just because of the fires, but also because of the heat. A lot of people are going to be out. It's Labor Day weekend. A lot of people are going to be exposed to COVID-19. We hope not, but that is the reality of the times that we're living in right now. And so this is really a massive heat wave. In some places, this will be the hottest it ever gets. Not just in September, but the hottest it ever gets. And then almost immediately on the heels of that, we're going to see a plunge of extremely cold air that's going to work its way into places like Denver, the Plain States, even into North Texas. This is all going to happen very quickly, so it's a 1-2 punch from Mother Nature. So this is the big heat dome. This is record breaking. If you look in the mid levels and you look back 50 years into records, you never see one quite this strong, especially this time of year. And we're going to see records all over the West. In fact, about 150 heat records are possible through Labor Day. So that's Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. Look at Los Angeles, 110. Now, every once in a while it gets to 110, but it's extremely rare in LA. Burbank could hit 112, 113 degrees. The Valley's 111, Sacramento. Some of the valleys will probably get to 115, just to give you an idea. And here's the problem. On the heels of this heat wave, which will start to minimize by Tuesday, we're going to see a strong cold front move in. Now, the cold air is not going to reach California, but the wind will. And so with three of the largest fires ever recorded in California history burning right now, on top of it, wind gusts to 40, maybe 50 miles an hour, it's going to be really hard to control these fires. We hope they don't get worse. So there's the heat wave across the West on Sunday. Watch what happens as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. Huge plunge in the jet stream. Temperatures are going to be in the 20s, that Fargo 27, Amarillo 30. It could snow even as far south as Amarillo, although it shouldn't accumulate there. But Denver could see accumulating snow. Take a look at what the computer models are printing out for snowfall. Now, obviously, the highest, the purples, those are in the mountains, about a foot in some places. And the lower elevations should only be a couple to maybe a few inches, but it's early September. It's happened one time before. Denver on September 3rd had 4 inches of snow. It's conceivable we could get that much. Boulder will see more than that. So the point is the weather is pretty crazy across the United States right now, especially the West.
Jeff, I feel like we need to come up with like the Berardelli scale where it's, bonkers, insane, and I'm not sure what's going to happen next, but I feel like you're going to tell me about it in the future. So
ludicrous should be at the top,
Jeff,
top of that list.
Ludicrous is at the top. So where is all this chaotic weather coming from, and what impact is climate change having on these weather patterns?
Right. Okay. So, there's a lot of reasons why weather happens. First of all, weather just happens. Weather by nature is chaotic, and naturally you can have patterns that are very extreme. So, this time of year, especially anytime in fall, we tend to see huge swings in the weather. Now, this is more extreme than what we typically see. So let's talk about at least some of the factors that are factoring in. First of all, we had a typhoon in the Western Pacific. We have another one right now that's about to make landfall in South Korea and also into Japan. And believe it or not, even though it's 6,000 miles away, it does contribute. It infuses and injects energy into an already amplified pattern. Now, climate change didn't make the pattern amplified. It was already amplified. And this typhoon is not a product of climate change, but it's made stronger by climate change. So you have that extra energy in the atmosphere. So that amplifies the pattern even more, or magnifies the jet stream. So what you have is this extra energy. Two typhoons change the pattern enough to push this cold air far south enough so that now all of a sudden you have temperatures in the hundreds in California and temperatures in the 20s and 30s across places like Colorado. So that can really bend and shape the pattern. But I'll add in a couple more bullet points as far as climate change goes. We talked about the typhoons. We talked a little about climate change. Let's talk a little bit more. So climate change and the burning of fossil fuels and the greenhouse gases, like a blanket, trap extra heat. And we've been seeing that happen. So when you have extra energy, extra heat in a system, you are bound to kind of add steroids to everything. So you enhance whatever natural pattern already exists. Climate change doesn't cause it. The pattern's there already, but climate change comes in, adds extra heat, and enhances that. Also, we see a faster pace of Arctic warming. The Arctic is warming at 3 times the rate of the rest of the globe, and so there's an imbalance. And whenever you have an imbalance, the atmosphere is trying to, balance it out, if you will, and so it changes where the jet stream goes. Right now, a lot of scientists think that there's some increased blocking in the Arctic, especially during summertime, that can act to displace the jet stream to the south. So sometimes, if you have enough blocking and warm air up in the Arctic, you can actually force cold air further south, which is the opposite of what you would think when it comes to global warming. So again, this is something that's hotly debated as to the extent of how much the Arctic impacts the jet stream and how it impacts the jet stream. But undoubtedly, some of the extreme weather we're seeing is contributed to by climate change, not caused by climate change.
All right, Jeff Berardelli, thank you.
You're welcome.